Guys, things are a lot worse than I actually thought it was. I just got finished looking at about 6 TikToks, and not just TikTok videos, but videos on other social media platforms about a lot of the American truck drivers, as far as like the semi-truck drivers who do the over-road driving, transporting goods from the ports to our local stores. A lot of the truck drivers are really hurt right now. I watched at least 3 videos where the truck drivers are saying just in this short amount of time with the tariffs going on that they have to actually sell their entire truck. A lot of those people pay at least $255,000 for the semi. So for those of you who don't know what those trucks cost, they cost around 200 and something thousand. One guy said the best offer that he got on the semi truck was $140,000, and the semi truck is actually a 2020, a 2020. That's just shy of 5 years old. So it's real out here when the truck drivers start speaking out about what's going on with them. They're experiencing a huge shortage where it comes to them being contractors, being contracted out to ship stuff for this company and ship stuff for that company. A lot of those guys that's even saying that selling their trucks, they're applying for local jobs where they can drive for a company. And they said a lot of those companies that ships products are actually laying their employees off. Or some of them are even cutting their employees' hours. So it's definitely real. Just seeing the videos like that just let me know just how serious things are, because these are people making videos that lives are really 100% being impacted by the tariffs. We would have never thought in a million years that putting tariffs on China and putting tariffs on these other countries would affect the United States so fast. I would have never thought that the impact would be so fast. The store shelves, a lot of the store shelves really are running empty right now. A lot of people are still using their overstocked products that they ordered from these companies, meaning that shipments are still coming in because they were ordered before the tariffs were implemented. And so they have to honor what's been implemented, basically like a contract type deal. So things are more serious than I thought it was, man. And like, if this is like only the second day of May 2025, I mean, I hate to see what the second and third week of May is going to look like. And we are just in the second day of May, and we're already seeing a humongous catastrophic breakdown of people already talking about losing their jobs when it comes to trucking and transporting food from one state to the next state. The ports are just really, it's bad. What's going on at the ports right now, it's bad. And you know what's really worse? A lot of those jobs are actually union jobs, and the union can't really do anything about that. They can't really override the president of the United States. So I wanted to just bring you guys that, man. That's really some heartbreaking, sad news, man. Thank you guys for watching.
It's a tough time being a truck driver. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just heard some news. A trucking company called LTI Services just completely shut down. 250 trucks, about 300 trailers, just completely shut down out of nowhere. Now, obviously, 250 drivers are going to be out of a job. They need to scramble to look for a job. But here's the thing is, when I was looking at it, reading the article, I was telling myself, why didn't they downsize, right? Why just completely shut down? Obviously, we understand they're losing money, but there are other alternatives where you don't need to shut down. You just downsize. You know, instead of having 250 trucks, maybe have 50 trucks. It's manageable. But to completely shut down operations, obviously, we only know from the outside, me reading the article, but man, 250 drivers out of nowhere got a message saying the company's shutting down completely. They're gonna get them home some way, somehow. But obviously, easier said than done. If these drivers are, God knows where they're at, trying to get them back. It's unfortunate, sad situation. It's a tough time to be a semi-truck driver right now, man. God bless each and every one of you, man.
I picked up a truck driver yesterday here in the Fort Lauderdale metro area from one of the truck stops where they park their trucks, and actually took him home. And so I always talk to all of my riders normally, and so I'm asking him about how is the trucking business, how is it looking, what's going on. And he said it's getting scary, that he was already having trouble booking rides that he normally would do to loads to take from the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area to other parts of the country. 2 large ports here. The Port of Miami is super large. Port Everglades, which is Fort Lauderdale, is smaller on the cargo, but still it's a large port when it comes to cargo. And he's saying that he's having trouble picking up loads out of the ports to take to other parts of the country from here. And I said, well, what's going on? And he says, well, it's got to be the tariffs, and that they are importing, receiving fewer containers, fewer goods in the ports, and it is trickling down to the truckers, which means there's less business for the truckers. And so for all of my truckers out there, I'm interested to hear what you're seeing. I'm interested to hear what you're experiencing right now. And, I won't ask who you voted for, but I can guess, you vote however you want to vote. But I'm sure this is not something that you voted for. You did not expect a trade war that would impact your trucking business and you to be able to have business to be able to feed yourself and your family. But it is impacting you. This is going to impact the amount of goods that we're going to see in stores. It's going to impact stores' abilities to sell, which is going to impact the number of people they're going to need to keep as employees in those stores or the hours that you have. Expect further cuts as this continues to start trickling down through all of the economy in the United States, and it's going to slow things down. Expect for those things we do see in the store, so those prices to go up. So expect inflation to go up, expect job losses to increase, expect fewer hours if you don't lose your job, and those in the trucking business are becoming concerned that they aren't going to have adequate business that they need to do to pay their bills, to pay their truck fees, their loans, whatever they've got. Those trucks aren't cheap to run and or to buy or to purchase, and it's trickling through everywhere. So just another little anecdote. And if you read, I read another article today in the LA Times. Truckers are desperate in Los Angeles because the same thing, the Port of Los Angeles is slowing down and business is hard to find. So thank you, Donald Trump, for crashing the economy. And it's coming. This crash is coming. You can say, I'm just scaremongering or whatever. Watch what happens. Watch how it slows down. Donald Trump brought us into a recession before. Donald Trump is bringing us to a recession now. And he goes, oh, it'll be okay. We'll be great later. Donald Trump, you don't suffer like the rest of us. You don't live week to week or month to month, paycheck to paycheck, where people need to make a certain income to pay their bills. You just file bankruptcy and don't pay others. There you have it. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my burned out light bulbs. What do you all think? And if you're a trucker, love to hear your experience and what you see and what you think is going to happen right now.
We have some crazy breaking news right now. Trump's newest victims are a group of Americans that we actually need to survive in this country. The American truck driver. The sad thing is 90% of these truck drivers voted for Trump in the 2024 election. And it doesn't stop there. The whole shipping industry is under attack by Trump.
Here's Joe from Georgia. Trucking in the United States is getting ready to suffer. And truckers who depend on those shipments for their jobs are going to be unemployed. Especially if you're operating on the west coast of America. Because all those shipments that go to China that aren't going to happen because of the tariffs, those shippings go to California ports. Well, in May of 2020, during COVID, there was 50 blank sailings in California going to China. That means canceled sailings where full ships would go to China. Now, 50 in 2020 in COVID. This past month and the beginning of April, there's been 80 already. And someone said it. This is going to make COVID look like good times.